Usually, when we talk about changing the fundamental shape of something, there is this immediate expectation of, like, really heavy lifting.
Oh, yeah, like a massive project.
Right. Think about architecture. If you want to change the silhouette of a building, you have to tear down walls, pour new concrete, bring in the cranes. It is an entire exhausting overhaul.
Yeah, it requires a massive structural intervention right from the ground up. I mean, you don't just tweak a skyscraper, you literally have to rebuild it.
Exactly. But if you step into the world of fashion, suddenly that whole architectural paradigm is just flipped entirely on its head.
Totally.
We're looking at a landscape where you can completely redefine a structure, in this case your own personal silhouette, with like a single piece of leather or fabric or chain. So today we are doing a deep dive into the magic of the humble belt.
Which is so much more complex than people realize.
Oh, absolutely. We are pulling insights from a really comprehensive style masterclass by Apparelizer.
Yeah?
It's titled Belt It Out, Using Accessories to Define Your Silhouette. And our mission for this deep dive is to figure out exactly how a simple accessory can completely hack your proportions.
Yeah.
We want to see how it can elevate your everyday style and honestly save you from feeling like you need to throw out your entire closet and just start over from scratch.
Right, because to really grasp this, we have to recognize that fashion isn't just about, draping fabric over a body just to stay warm.
No, but not at all.
At its core, it is a masterclass in geometry and balance. I mean, belts are rarely just functional, utilitarian items meant to keep your pants up anymore.
Right, they haven't been just functional for long.
Exactly. They're powerful structural tools. They instantly manipulate body proportions. They create visual harmony where there maybe wasn't any before. And on a psychological level, this kind of structural definition actually alters how you take up space.
Oh, wow, yeah.
You physically carry yourself differently when your silhouette feels deliberately engineered.
But, you cannot effectively use a structural tool if you don't understand the foundation you are building on first.
Right.
You have to know the canvas you're actually working with before you start, like, strapping things to it.
Yeah. The overarching principle here is that strategic accessorizing requires you to know your natural blueprint. You have to know what you are trying to enhance or disguise before you introduce a brand new horizontal line right across your body.
Let's group these blueprints by what we are actually trying to achieve, right? Starting with shapes, where the goal is accentuation versus redirection.
Okay.
Take the hourglass and pear shapes. Since we already know the basic geometries of these figures, belting them is really a study in managing visual weight. With an hourglass, the architecture is already balanced between the shoulders and hips.
Right. The proportions are naturally there.
Exactly.
Okay.
So introducing a belt is just about spotlighting the narrowest point.
It is pure accentuation. I mean, the brain instinctively registers the sharpest indentation as the focal point, and the belt just serves as a highlighter for that reality.
A highlighter, yeah, I like that.
But with a pear shape, where the lower body carries more of the visual weight, the belt becomes a tool of intentional redirection.
Yeah.
By anchoring a belt at the narrowest part of the waist, you forcefully draw the observer's eye upward.
You're guiding them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're essentially telling the brain to ignore the wider base and focus entirely on the narrowest point of the upper body.
It is almost like editing a photograph in real life. You are manually dragging the aspect ratio to force the viewer to look exactly where you want them to.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, let's unpack this next one, because this is where I get a little skeptical.
Yeah.
For a rectangle shape, where the shoulders, waist, and hips are essentially a straight line, the goal is to use the belt as a curve creator.
Right.
But wait, if I'm a rectangle shape, won't putting a belt right in the middle just highlight the fact that I don't have natural curves? It feels like underlining the problem. Doesn't it just make you look like a tied-up cylinder?
I love that you brought that up because honestly, it seems perfectly logical on the surface, but it completely ignores the physics of fabric.
Okay, how so?
Well, when you place a belt tightly around the midsection of a very straight silhouette, you aren't just drawing a flat line on a flat surface, you are introducing tension. By cinching the fabric at the waist, you force the material above and below the belt to billow outward slightly.
Oh, I see. You are manipulating the fabric itself, not just the body underneath.
Precisely. You are artificially pinching the middle of a straight line, which automatically creates volume at the chest and at the hips. It is the contrast between the tightly cinched waist and that newly billowing fabric that tricks the eye into perceiving two distinct curves where there basically were none.
Wow, that completely changes how I think about it. You're using the garment's own volume to fake the architecture. And then on the flip side of that, you have the inverted triangle shape,
Right.
where the broadness is all up top in the shoulders.
Right, a top-heavy blueprint.
Yeah. And the mechanism there is all about grounding the look. You drop the visual focus down to the waist and hips to balance out that heavy upper half.
Right.
But then there's the apple shape. And I really have to challenge the mechanics here too.
Yeah.
The advice from Apparelizer is to wear a medium-width belt slightly above the natural waist.
Yes.
Wait, if the goal is to create structure for an apple shape where the midsection carries the most weight, doesn't placing a belt above the natural waist feel entirely counterintuitive? Are you just drawing attention to the very area you might be trying to smooth out?
What's fascinating here is the illusion of proportion.
Okay.
It sounds incredibly counterintuitive, I know, but it is a brilliant trick of visual geometry. When you place the belt slightly higher than the natural waist, so right under the bust line, you are establishing an entirely artificial waistline at a point on the torso that is inherently narrower.
Oh, so you are basically rewriting the map of your own body.
Exactly. You are giving the observer's eye a brand new anchor point. By drawing the eye up to that high artificial waistline, you effectively elongate the appearance of the legs.
That makes a lot of sense.
But more importantly, the fabric then falls freely from that elevated point, naturally skimming over the wider midsection rather than clinging to it or cutting it in half. You are creating a structured, balanced silhouette from the chest down.
It is literally hacking the eye's perception of length and width. It's wild, but, knowing that you need to draw the eye upward or create a below in the fabric doesn't really help if you grab the wrong piece of hardware.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like a massive corset belt is going to do something very different to a dress than a thin leather strap.
Yeah.
If you don't know the tools, you can completely ruin the illusion.
The toolkit is everything. I mean, not all belts are created equal, and their width, their material, and their structural rigidity drastically change their visual impact. Let's look at the two extremes, wide belts and skinny belts. Wide belts are your heavy-duty structural reinforcements. They create massive drama and very distinct, rigid waistlines.
Because they're so thick.
Yeah, because they take up so much vertical real estate on the torso, they are perfect for reigning in thick, oversized fabrics. Think like chunky knit long cardigans or really heavy winter dresses.
Right. They provide the actual physical tension needed for heavy materials, whereas skinny belts are the complete opposite. They offer this very subtle, elegant touch, which is highly favored in office wear and fine tailoring.
Exactly.
Actually, think of a statement belt like the bold, capitalized headline of your outfit.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it is shouting for attention and dictating the entire story. Meanwhile, a skinny belt is like the subtle punctuation mark at the end of a well-tailored sentence. It just holds the thought together without distracting from the words themselves.
That is an excellent analogy. And sitting alongside those, we have the true statement belts. These are pieces featuring bold metallic buckles, heavy textures, and embellishments where the belt is unquestionably the centerpiece.
Right.
And then chain belts, which bring a very specific, fluid, modern sophistication, particularly for evening wear.
We really need to dive into this specific landscape of the 2026 trends, because what is happening right now in fashion is fascinating.
It really is.
We are seeing this massive surge in wide, corset-inspired belts, heavy metallic chain belts, minimalist leather, double wrap belts, belted oversized blazers, and monochromatic belt styling.
It is an incredibly rich and diverse toolkit this year. If you look closely at these 2026 trends, especially the corset-inspired and double-wrap belts, it points to a really significant societal shift in fashion.
How do you mean?
Well, we are moving away from the belt as just a supplementary accessory. We are embracing it as the absolute dictator of the silhouette. The belt is no longer an afterthought. It is the architectural framework itself.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Take the double-wrap belt trend. By wrapping the leather around the waist twice, you are adding a three-dimensional architectural element that draws the eye in multiple times. It physically reinforces that structural cinch.
And the monochromatic belting trend is just so clever to me.
It's beautiful.
That's where your belt perfectly matches the exact fabric and color of the suit or dress you're wearing. Taking a boxy, oversized blazer without a belt is kind of like watching a modern widescreen movie stretched to fit a vintage square TV.
Right, the dimensions are just totally lost.
Exactly. But when you apply a monochromatic belt, It is like applying the right formatting. You get all the structure and the tailoring, but because there is no stark color contrast, you don't break that vertical line.
Precisely. You are using texture and subtle physical structure to define the shape, rather than relying on color contrast, which keeps the look incredibly fluid and elongated.
But I mean, having a drawer full of 2026's best corset and double wrap belts is absolutely useless if you don't know how to integrate them with the clothes actually sitting in your closet right now.
So true.
Theory is great, but execution is where the magic really happens.
The everyday application is where this gets truly transformative. One of the most powerful outfit hacks is cinching shapeless, oversized clothing. We all have that incredibly comfortable oversized dress or tunic that essentially just swallows us whole.
Oh yeah, the comfort tint.
Exactly, the
Right.
comfort tin. Adding a structured wide belt instantly pulls that massive volume of fabric in. It creates immediate geometric definition while still letting you maintain all the comfort of the oversized garment.
I really love the mechanics behind belting blazers too. You take a rigid, boxy blazer, throw a statement belt over the top of it, and suddenly you have this tailored, runway-ready, hourglass silhouette.
Yeah.